Yo, hi, this is Wolf Hoffmann, and you're watching Bay Area Rocks.
You're watching Bay Area Rocks, and I'm Bassy, Stacy, and I'm here with Wolf Hoffmann from Accept. Woo! How are you doing today?
Doing fantastic. We just arrived in beautiful San Francisco.
Cool. And you guys have been on tour for how long?
Oh, gosh, ages. We left home pretty much in January, and we've been all around Europe. Came back for a week here and there, but mostly we've been on the road nonstop, everywhere in this world. No.
Can you give me a little bit of background on Accept?
Oh, gosh, yeah. I mean, we've been around forever, since the late 70s, actually. That's when we made our first record in 79, and, I mean, we kind of started this whole heavy metal wave in Europe in the 80s, and, you know, we just recently got back together.
So what made you want to start playing guitar?
Gosh, you go way back, huh?
Yeah.
I mean...
I like to go back from the beginning.
All the way to the beginning. I really just liked playing guitar. A friend of mine had one, and I picked it up and had some lessons and stuff, and started playing acoustic guitar when I was about 15 or 14, and liked it, and you know, eventually joined Accept when I was only 16 years old. I mean, been, you know...
Doing it forever.
That's forever, yeah.
That's great. I want to say congratulations on the MySpace #1 metal record you have right now, Blood of Nations. How did you get that name? And tell me about the record.
Well, it's really just one of the song titles on the album. It's not a concept album or anything. We named it Blood of the Nations because it really is the strongest title of all the song titles that we have, and a lot of people read a lot of it into it, but for me, it's just really one of the songs on the album, and it's a collection of 12 or 14, depending on how you count it, 14 strong songs, and we just, wrote from the gut like we always have. It's just whatever we came up with at the time, and when we reunited, or when we reformed Accept, I should say, we didn't have an idea of what exactly it's going to end up being. We just wrote songs that we felt, and, that's what you see here. The result is Blood of the Nations.
So it took you about 15 years to record this album. In between then, what were you guys doing before you reformed Accept?
I mean, we were all living our lives pretty much, We all dabbled around the music one way or another, but none of us was really a professional musician anymore. We kind of had almost put it behind us. We thought, Accept had a great run for almost 20 years at that time, and we thought the whole thing had run its course, and it was time to do something else. Peter was doing radio jingles. I was a photographer, as a matter of fact. I still am. And, we did the occasional music project, but other than that, we didn't really pursue it much. And then everything changed one day when we met Mark Tornillo about 2 years ago, and the rest is history.
How did you meet Mark Tornillo?
Oh, gosh, I've told that story so many times.
I know.
We met him during a jam session, and we just, none of this was planned in any way or shape or form. We just happened to meet him one day at this jam session, and felt he was an awesome singer and a perfect fit for Accept, and we would call the other guys and decided very spontaneously within a day or two to reopen Accept.
So you and Peter have been together since the beginning. How do you guys keep that glue and that bond together in the band?
I guess you could say we're joined at the hip musically. I mean, we've been, musical partners for all these years just because we thrive off each other. We really have this bond that I don't know where it comes from, and I don't want to really analyze it. I just know it's there. Every time we get together and start writing stuff, it kind of clicks right away. And that's not always the case. Sometimes you meet great musicians, but you don't develop that certain special that you need to be, songwriting partners. But with Peter and I, it's always been that way.
What festivals are you guys going to be playing this year, or are you going to play any?
We're going to do Bang Your Head in Germany. We're going to do Sweden Rock, Sauna Festival, and maybe one or two others. We've been on the road constantly this year, so we're not really concentrating on festivals quite that much this year. Maybe next year.
Do you guys have any ideas of a new record or anything like that while you're touring? Do you come up with new material, or?
No, that's very hard. I mean, can't really write that well on the road, to be honest, just because there's never enough time in the day, and we almost have to set time aside to start writing songs. I know for myself, I have to turn the phones off, I have to really clear my calendar and then get into that zone, and that's when ideas are coming. It's never that I, in the middle of the day have a great idea and I just bam, 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 crank it out. That's not how it works with me. That's why at the end of, or in the middle of July, we decided to pull the plug on all this touring activities and really start writing songs in earnest, Otherwise, it's never going to happen. If we just keep touring, we're not going to have any record. So this is more important to us to start writing new stuff.
You guys did play some shows with Udo in 2005. Would you guys ever get back together and do another reunion with Udo?
What? Say that again?
You guys did play festival with Udo, and would you ever get back and reform like a old school Accept?
Hell no. Why would we? I mean, we've got a great working Accept now. I mean, initially Udo was asked, and he turned us down, and he said he wasn't interested. And no, hell no. Now things are going great, Great.
And what new bands are you listening to now?
None. I never listen to new bands, honestly. I'm old school. I don't really follow anything that's out there, to be honest. I mean, sometimes we get great opening acts and bands that tour with us, Sabaton, and we had other bands in Europe. And sometimes I see some bands that Grand Magus, for instance, or Magoose, I have no idea how you actually pronounce it, but they were quite good. And sometimes I see bands where I go, yeah, they're kind of nice, but I never really follow any of it or like buy the records and try to keep up. Sorry, I don't.
It's understandable. You're busy. So what advice would you give a new musician that's starting out?
Oh, the famous advice question. Yeah.
Everybody wants to know.
Well, I don't know that there is anything that you can just say and that makes it happen. I think one thing that I've learned over time is you gotta, if you find something that works for you and it feels right, just stick with it, no matter what the trend happens to be right now. That is something very important. And another advice maybe that comes to my mind is if I think back at the time when we got started, we spent years in the rehearsal studio and just honing our craft and trying to get better at our instruments and also play together as a band. That is something that maybe gets lost these days with all the technology. At the end of the day, it's still about playing together as a band, and so my advice would be, do that. Start playing together in a band, and do that for a good long time before you start making recordings and all that stuff.
Does Gabby help you guys with the lyrics still sometimes?
Not on this last album, because now we have Mark, and he's a great lyricist and obviously English-speaking native speaker. So obviously it was a natural idea to have him write these lyrics on this record.
Is there any?
She certainly did in the past,
Yeah, she did. I had to give her props when she came down. I was like, I get to meet Gabby. So is there anything that you want to tell your fans? And then also my friend Matt, whose birthday it is today, and he's a very big Accept fan, has a couple.
Told you happy birthday.
Yes,
so
yeah. He has a couple of questions. He's got
nice.
one of the
Look
older.
at that vintage.
Yeah.
That's like historic almost.
Yeah, the old pick.
Very sweet. Very cool. Got to give you a new one, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who came up with the idea for the crossed flying V's for the album covers? Because that's like a brilliant, fabulous, like the most metal thing ever.
One of those ideas that I think that developed over time a little bit, and it's one of those things. We like flying V's because they look good and they play well on stage, and then all of a sudden we both had them, and we thought, well, it looks kind of cool, both white flying V's, and then I think I had the idea one day to sort of, why don't we just put them together like that and set them on fire, and then in turn learn to the album cover, and I don't know exactly how it happened, but it's too long ago.
It's really cool. It's really cool. It like defined like metal for me anyway. It was back then. It was like really cool. Who sung the lyrics on? Who sung the songs, "The King" and "No Time to Lose" on the "I'm a Rebel" album?
Peter Baltus, yeah. Very good vocalist, but a lot of people don't even know that.
Now we know.
Yeah, I don't know why it was never mentioned on the album, and to this day I don't know why. I mean, it really should have said vocals by Peter Baltus, and sometimes people thought it was Udo, but it surely wasn't him.
Okay, yeah, it's been a question I've had for a million years. The song "Burning" on the Breaker album. It was a live song. It never appeared on any studio.
I think it was. No, I know it was a fake live song. It wasn't even. Yeah, it was just audience mixed under there. And again, to this day, I don't know why in the world we did that. Maybe we felt that it needed it, or it should have been a live track, and I have no idea why we did it. Honestly, it's too long ago. Maybe somebody in the studio said, "Oh, it needs something. Maybe we'll put an audience, loop under it or something." Maybe the producer had. Honestly, I can't remember why we did it.
That's crazy. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
What song do you love to play live?
Obviously I'm a guitar player, so there's certain songs I like better than others for guitar players' sake, and that maybe Neon Nights is a good one. Head Over Heels, which we currently don't even play. Love Child. I mean, there's a few. I kind of like them all, but, those three maybe stick out right now.
How long is your set going to be tonight?
Almost 2 hours.
Sweet. And what would you like to tell your fans?
I told them everything I know already. Stay out there. I mean, we'll love you. So, I mean, it's just great to be back. Thanks, guys.